YouTube, what's going on? It's Brownie from the Youngs, and today I'm talking about the Forbidden Limited List. But I'm going to do it kind of differently this time. Instead of throwing out a bunch of random cards to talk about in terms of the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG Forbidden Limited List, I am going to be giving you a custom Forbidden and Limited List. But it's going to be more of a prediction standpoint. But in actuality, it's really just a wish list. I'm going to do my best to accurately predict what they're going to do, judging from what I've seen from regular from old BANLIST. But as we've seen, like in the contrast of stuff changed between the July one and the November one, where like July one they had like no changes pretty much. We got Trish back, which was cool, and like shit to one. But in the November, it's like we're gonna ban these 4 cards, we're gonna limit all these other cards. Like, how are you supposed to like predict these? So I'm just gonna give you what cards I think are like good or good for the game, when cards I think are like actually kind of toxic, probably should get rid of. But remember that I can't predict everything. They're sometimes unpredictable sometimes. So without further ado, let's get right into it. But first, before we go right into the custom list, this is a screenshot from the current Forbidden Limited list on the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG website. And do you see something that's missing? You don't? Okay. Why is there no end date? There's supposed to be something right about here. Yeah, there's supposed to be something that like says when this ban list is going to end. There has been an end date since the April list in 2015, and that's just absolutely ridiculous. I hate the fact that there's no end date. It's ridiculous. Their whole ideology behind it is that like, oh, it limits our flexibility. That's what they said in their like July 2nd article, where they tried to explain, oh yeah, we did it because it limits our flexibility, and we didn't want to hit cards that would potentially be a problem. It might end up like not being as bad as we thought. Like, I think they meant like the Dragon Rulers. They banned the Dragon Rulers prematurely because they thought the Dragon Rulers would be a problem. But the only reason why that argument holds no merit is because they would refuse to touch cards like Necro's Unicorn that were a problem. Because, again, the July 16th list was so good, except that Unicorn was still at 3. If Necro's Unicorn went to 1 in that list would have been perfect. But I still think that, like, the fact there's no end date is so unbelievably annoying, because it's good. It's really hard to prepare for Konami events, because when I have one that's like about 3 months from the current list, my next regional is February 14th, and I have no idea if there's going to be a list between now and then. I mean, there might be. I don't know. They had the July one like effective immediately, and I guess they realized that was terrible. And with the November one, they gave you like a 2 weeks notice. But no, you need to have set end dates so I can like so I kind of like prepare. Like, if my regionals before the end of the format, then I can like prepare for that. I don't have to be like, there might be a list. I don't know. I hate it. Bring back the end date. It's absurd. But without further ado, let's get into the actual list. Forbidden cards, the cards I believe should go to 0, and I have 4 of them. Really 5, but 4 main ones. Legit. The 4 I have are Perform Age, Damage Juggler, Tolerant Ptolemaeus, Wavering Eyes, and Vanity's Emptiness. Damage Juggler is the biggest problem in terms of the Perform Ages. The Perform Ages is kind of dumb, how Damage Juggler can search out the pendulums to complete your scales. And Hat Tricker and Trick on Leg are good too, but like the fact that he's just really easy to get to the grave, he's able to search out pendulums to complement your scales is just really insane, especially when you discard it with Twin Twister. It gets really absurd. I think if you ban Damage Juggler, that's the best way to deal with the engine. You don't have to touch Plush Fire, because Plush Fire really isn't a big deal if you're just going to be summon Trick Console over it, because it's when you activate Luster Pendulum and kill Plush Fire and then summon Damage Juggler from the deck. That's when it gets really ridiculous, because when that Damage Juggler goes away, you can be able to search out a scale that complements the Luster Pendulum, and it just gets really insane. I feel like if they hit Damage Juggler to 0, that'll curb the power of Pepe significantly, to like bring it back to earth. Tournament Ptolemaeus, I've expressed my dislike in this card for a while. Not only is this card just gross. 26 defense, yeah, it's so big. No, but in actuality, it's really dumb. Like, rank 4s have a lot of power, and I've never really had a problem with rank 4s except Ptolemaeus, because he kind of makes it so like I have 2 level 4, so I can make any rank 5, or I can make a Cyber Dragon Infinity, which is really insane. It kind of makes it so it makes future rank 5s like harder to design, I guess. Like, it inhibits design future rank 5s, because like, oh, Ptolemaeus can just make it. Listen, I don't mind having a huge toolbox for rank fours, but I think it is kind of dumb when you have two level fours you can make a diamond, two level fours you can make a Cyber Dragon Infinity. That's where and a Pleiades, like that's where it's kind of insane. Ptolemaeus is ridiculous. The fact that he keeps stacking on materials is kind of insane. It's so generic. It would be fine if it was just for Tower Knights, but the fact that it's so generic, diamonds for everyone, two level fours, it's I don't know, I can't really deal with that. Wavering Eyes and Vanity's Emptiness kind of for the same reason. Because these cards, people always ask each other to side them out. That's really like the main, it's one of the main reasons why it's clear that they should go away. They're both insane. Wavering Eyes, like if you resolve Wavering Eyes, the third or fourth effect you win like every time. Vanity's Emptiness, it's really one sided. Like regardless of what you actually think about these cards, I just think these cards should be banned because there have been so many gentlemen's agreements on there. And my general philosophy is that like if you have a card that people are constantly asking you to side out like every single time, then the card's potentially a problem. And like I always have people ask me to set out wavering as when I play Pendulum deck. People always ask me to set out MTS, and you know what? I do the same. When I MTS is it's kind of annoying. It's really hard to it really sucks to lose that. But the last one, the kind of fifth one, that it's kind of a toss up that I don't. They're not gonna actually do. Like these four are actually kind of like legitimate. But the last one that I really want them to do that they're definitely not going to is 4-pound Pendulum Sorcerer to 0. I hate this card. This card, have you read this card? This card's insane. I really think that like just Damn Trigger to 0, Sorcerer to 0 deck is fixed. It really is. That just curves the deck, the power of the deck so significantly, it brings it back down to earth and compete with other decks. Would it still be the best deck? I don't know, maybe, but like like there wouldn't be like complete balance in the game, but it'd be a lot closer than kind of what it is now. Some people are like, "Oh, it's Pepe's not even tier 0 right now." Like, dude, it's pretty close. It's just gonna get worse when Lightning comes out. Lightning is gonna be a huge deal for that. Limited cards, I believe should go to 1. I have 4 for this one. I have Solemn Judgment, Dark Magician of Chaos, Wind Up Carrier Zenmighty, and my waifu El Shaddoll Construct. Solemn Judgment and Wind Up Carrier Zenmighty are both cards that I think are like they're worthy of getting unbanned. Like the only reason why I think Zenmighty is probably not because I guess they just don't like to unban archetypal cards. That's kind of what I've noticed is that they typically only unban generic cards. So maybe Zenmighty not, but I think like Zenmighty's not broken. There are a bunch of cards that are still on like the ban list that like really aren't that broken. That could come back, but I guess like Zenmighty kind of sticks on them because he's kind of there for like he wasn't even banned in the OCG. And he's got his TCG, he's still there. It's 2016, it's ridiculous. Solemn Judgment to go along with their generic card philosophy, and it's kind of good. I hesitate to say, oh, they're trying to push Ariadne because Break Shadow pretty much already came out, and that set already pushed itself so much. But Solemn Judgment is just like a legit card that I think I like Solemn Judgment. I like formats with Solemn Judgment in it. It's kind of a fun card. Yeah, I guess I kind of agree with the notion that like it's a really skillful card, but I mean it's kind of cool. Dark Magician of Chaos got its Rada in Yugi's Legendary decks. So that's pretty much a given. And El Shaddoll Construct, which was the completely unjustified massacre of Shaddoll in November. I just want one construct. Okay, you can keep L Fusion at 1. I just want one construct. And this is the wish list. This is like, do I think they're gonna bring back construct? No. Do I want them to? Yes. Construct is awesome, but like they're not gonna bring it back. I'm so sad. They completely destroy the deck, but like one construct, one L Fusion deck isn't that great, but like I just want it back. Last one, another spin one. I guess it's kind of a little more out there, but this doesn't need to happen if you ban Pendulum Sorcerer, but Luster Pendulum, the Draco Slayer, that's my compromise. If you don't ban Pendulum Sorcerer, Luster Pendulum's got to go to 1. It's just Luster Pendulum because I don't like generic search cards, and Luster Pendulum is borderline generic search card. Yeah, he's only you say, oh, he's only for Pendulum decks, but like there are different kinds of Pendulum decks. So if you're playing Pendulum deck, why don't you just play 3 Luster Pendulum? Now, there's more that goes into that. You can't play Luster Pendulum in every single Pendulum deck, but for the most part, especially rank 4-spam ones, yeah, you're going to play through Luster Pendulum. I'm not a huge fan of generic search cards, and Luster Pendulum is borderline that, and I think that if they don't pen Pendulum Sorcerer, they got to limit Luster Pendulum for that deck to be, like, relatively back down to earth, and then Pepe is, like, you know, you can kind of deal with it now. It's not like so omnipotent anymore. But yeah, Luster Pendulum 2-1, kind of please. Semi-limiteds, the cards that I believe should go up or down to 2, and I have 4 of them for real this time. No, they're like crazy spin-off ones, or like compromises. The 4 I have are Rescue Rabbit, Wind-Up Magician, Exector Hornet, and Fernie Archfiend. The bottom 3 are all Worlds victims, the deck that won Worlds, and they were just like slaughtered consequently after. Rescue Rabbit isn't really, but Rescue Rabbit is actually kind of insane. But like, I don't think it should be at 1. I mean, Ochi has it at 3. It's really not that big a deal. One card rank 4s aren't a new thing. Have you read Instant Fusion? I'm surprised I haven't put Instant Fusion anywhere on this list. It's like borderline crazy, but like, so is Rabbit. But like, I still think Rabbit is like, it's safe. It's safe at 3, but it's one of those cards you should probably go to 2 first. Wind Up Magician, same thing with Wind Up Mighty to 1. Gotta give Wind Up some love. That deck's really not going to do anything besides Xyz spam, but there are certain Bando decks that do a better job at that. Injector Hornet. Injector Hornet is he's fair. Like he can also go to 3. A lot of these cards can go straight to 3. It wouldn't make that much of a difference. But why is he go to 2 first? It's a Worlds deck. That's the only other. I guess like I guess Worlds decks need to go to 2 first. But like these are all cards that like probably going to stay at 1 for a while. I think Dragonfly should stay at 1 though. Dragonfly is kind of insane. Especially with Hornet and multiples. Yeah, Hornet can go to multiples, not Dragonfly. Dragonfly should stay at 1. In front of Archfiend, I can't believe this card is still limited. It's an absolute injustice, and it really boils my blood that this card. No, I'm joking. In front of Archfiend, when it went to 1, it went to 1 along with Soul Charge, and that was Soul Charge is the one that already killed the deck. The fact that this card's still limited because it won Worlds in a format that didn't really matter is ridiculous. But you all know how I feel about that. But in front of Archfiend, please come back. I miss that deck. That deck's great. Unlimited, the cards I think should go to 3, and there isn't a finite amount of them. I have 2 for real ones, and then a bunch of irrelevant ones. Ritual Beast Ulti should probably go to 3. Apocalypse Towers should probably go to 3, and every other irrelevant card should go to 3. Why did I pick these 2 to go straight from? Why did I pick Towers from 0 to 3 and Connacht from 1 to 3? Because I think the next list is going to be like, oh wait. I'm really, really sorry about that. It's gonna be one of those forbidden limit lists. Dude, they limited Ulti Kanok in the last list. That's insane. That was just savage. Like they're like no scoping all those meta decks for like going to Necros, Shadal, Burning Abyss, and then they no scoped Kanahawk, and it was just not a fun time. Kanahawk and Towers, neither of those should have been hit. Like even Scout to 1 was like, oh, that's just savage. I'll keep Scout at 1 for now. I don't really care. I'm not that much of a fan of that deck anyway. But Towers banned, unbanned doesn't make a difference. Connacht 1, 3 doesn't make a difference. Next list I believe is gonna be a redemption list for these 2 cards that they're gonna be like, yeah, I'm really sorry about that. Like we'll take that back. And then every other irrelevant card that's on the limited or semi-limited, like Neoexpression Gramble is still at 1, Night of Sound is still at 1. What else? Wall of Revealing Light. There's a whole bunch of other cards that are on there. You know what I'm talking about? You know the irrelevant cards that are at 1 that really shouldn't. They're all right here. You just use your imagination. There are too many to count at this point. But oh well. So that's my custom ban list. My main one though, I guess my main one, I want Archfiend to go to multiples, but that's a personal choice. In terms of like metagame balance, I really think Damn Juggler to 0 is like the biggest problem. Damn Juggler is insane. Also, it's that dual utility where you can protect your life, and also negate cards that would inflict damage. It's just ridiculous. But also, the end date. I really can't believe there's no end date. They really got to fix that next time. But let me know what you guys think on this Forbidden Limited list. I would like to know what you think in the comment section down below, like all your ban list thoughts, or like what cards you think should be pushed around. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.